unfilled. In light of and in spite of incredible recruiting efforts to fill those positions. And we have filled those unfilled routes early in the year with substitute drivers, mechanics driving, office staff driving, supervisor of transportation driving, safety coordinator driving. And then, as any workforce would have it, people get sick or they have appointments and they have to call in from time to time and are not able to work, so we're backfilling those routes as well. Earlier in the year, we sent communication to families that we were in a very tight situation with our workforce, our bus driver workforce, and families, please be prepared for the potential cancellation of routes. We began to see cancellation of routes a number of weeks ago with a route here or there, and more recently, 2 to 3 routes each day. And then that increased as we were really facing a situation where our mechanics needed to be mechanics, not drivers. Our office staff, with the volume of calls and dispatching, needed to tend to that work and that drive. So they were really pulled from the availability of backfilling some of those positions. We began to see 5 to 6 routes each day canceled, realizing that every time we cancel a route, that has a huge consequence and imposition on families to get kids to schools. Families should be commended for the effort that they have put into getting their kids to school. It's been impressive. But every family that drives their kid to school adds traffic volume to drop off and pickup zones in the midst of the buses that are also getting kids to and from school. 5 or 6 route cancellations recently spiked to this week 11 routes on one day and 10 routes on another day. As we studied and looked at what we were expecting Thursday, today, and Friday, tomorrow, and into next week, we were anticipating upwards to 20, and worst case scenario, 25 canceled routes due to a spike in COVID-related illness, other illnesses, and other absences. And when we faced that situation, it was clear to us that that was an untenable situation, given the volume of traffic and bus traffic at our schools. And to illustrate, yesterday morning, we'll all recall the level of dense fog that we were driving through to get to school and to get to work. And at Scandia, we had 4 routes specifically that were canceled, dedicated to Scandia or assigned to Scandia. We had car traffic backed up all the way down the shoulder of Highway 97, with tail lights being the only indication of cars parked there in the fog. Traffic zipping by at 50, 55 miles an hour. It's an unsafe, safe situation. And to compound that with 11 routes to potentially 20 or more, we felt that that was a real safety concern. So with that in mind, we moved to a distance learning situation so that we could get through that level of absences and to address the potential traffic that would be presented at each of our schools with continued bus cancellations. So we have begun to put plans in place to address those and develop those traffic patterns and to be able to absorb that level of parent traffic in addition to bus traffic. As we've addressed the transportation issues and the parent driving this week, we have staggered schedules. We have communicated with families, please pick up at this time. We've dismissed kids in staggered times, but it's an altogether different situation when you're dealing with upwards of 20 some buses. So as we begin to move forward, and starting today, we have convened conversations with our principals to start developing plans. We'll dedicate other resources to help administration develop those plans. We're purchasing traffic cones, reflector vests, flashlights, flags to help manage the traffic that we anticipate continuing at our schools so that we can provide a safe drop-off and pickup zone for families as well as our buses that will be bringing our kids to and from school. We know that a move to distance learning is not just an imposition, but it has an impact on student learning. It is a painstaking decision to make that decision, to have to go to distance learning. It pains us to have to do that. The imposition on families who have jobs to get to. The kids, especially this time of year, want to be in school. We know that. But we felt that in the name of safety and the volume and the traffic at our schools, we really had no option. We clearly see this as a short-term measure. As we look at the return to school on January 4th, we fully expect to be back in school for at that time and for the foreseeable future. There is no plan to continue this distance learning situation. It will be a short-term situation. We will be prepared to handle a large volume of bus cancellations if that is the case starting January 4th, but we need to stand up that operation and we'll be ready on January 4th to do that. So in addition to our planning over this period of time, we have set up childcare for families. I was on the phone yesterday with M Health and they're concerned about our families who work, our parents who work at M Health and other healthcare facilities. Starting today, day one, we provided childcare for families who work in critical care hospital and medical facilities, as well as EMS folks. So in an effort to address our bus driver shortage, we're all aware of the worker shortage that is certainly facing our bus fleet, and that we're not the only district challenged by the lack of bus drivers. But we are continuing our recruiting efforts. We have set up next week and the week after a 3-hour open house for the community to come and learn about the process of being certified to drive a bus. We'll be recruiting and sending advertising out through social media and otherwise to invite the community to come in and hopefully, if they're available, to become a bus driver. I've had a conversation with the education commissioner who has the ear of the governor, who's aware of our situation. Not that they can pull immediate resources, but we need the understanding at the highest levels in the state that we're in a dire spot. And again, we're not the only district in a critical situation. So we had that conversation. I've had a conversation with the Forest Lake City Administrator today, asking for Patrick Casey at the city to have conversations with retired city workers, large equipment operators who might be available, who may not be working around the clock, who might be retired, who might be interested in driving bus. So again, we are pulling out all stops to continue to address the need that we have. That said, it's important that, and I think I know you know this, but we have an incredible bus driver crew. They have been with us for a long time. They have stuck with us. They're dedicated. We own our own transportation. We run our own transportation system. The benefit of that is our community, our parents, in some cases grandparents, are our bus drivers. They know our kids, they know our routes, they know our community. We're incredibly indebted to our bus drivers who have gone above and beyond to make our system work to the extent that we have. They have stuck with us and they deserve a ton of credit, and we're really indebted to them for their incredible service. So with that, I will take any questions that you might have.
Isn't so much a question maybe, but just to expand a little bit on to be a bus driver, what do you need to be eligible for that? That was a lesson for me. I can't just walk in and be a bus driver tomorrow.
No, even if you can parallel park, you're not qualified to be a bus driver. It requires a great deal of training and certification. I don't know all the certification offhand. We have bus drivers in the audience. They can definitely speak to that, but there's state certifications, background checks, training that has to be done. It is a 6-week process. We pay for that entire process, so it's not an out-of-pocket expense to become a certified bus driver. But it does take time. So we're not going to have the bus drivers overnight, although our supervisor of transportation, John Gray, has held 2 interviews today, have several interviews in the following days for potential bus drivers. So people are coming forward and we're grateful for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Superintendent, we've really worked hard to get as much in-person learning as we can. And we opened up before everybody else, and we've really been committed to that. And so I think we all feel like it's an uncomfortable step backwards to have to, go back from that. But could you go over again and just kind of reiterate how we can ensure that, when the new year starts, that we have those kids in classes?
Yeah, I mean, as I detailed out, the plans that we're putting in place to recruit drivers and have systems in place at all of our schools to handle large volume of parent drop-off. So we're building out those systems, having those mechanisms in place. Principals will be asking parent volunteers, community volunteers to assist with directing traffic and keeping our kids safe as they're getting on and off buses and coming in and out of our schools. We'll be ready to handle whatever bus cancellations we need that we face when we get back on January 4th. Our plan is to run our buses regardless of the number of cancellations that we have so that we get kids to school.
Thank you.
So with that said, Superintendent, when this plan comes together, will it be like given out to the parents and families so they can see if there's changes, or would that come out during break or just when school starts?
Yeah, we'll certainly communicate with families unique to each school what's expected if parents drop off. Most likely, if the bus drop off is 9 a.m., we'll have parent drop off shortly after that, so we minimize the interaction of buses and parent drop off. We need to get that set up and well communicated. We'll need a lot of cooperation from our families I know work schedules drive schedules at home, but at the same time, we're going to need to really have a high degree of engagement and cooperation with what we set up so that we can make sure our kids are safe. So yes, we'll have ample communication as we get back from break.
And so I really understand how this is such an inconvenience for our families. And like Member Rayfield said, it feels like a step backwards for us because we've been so embedded with, keeping our kids in class and keeping that going, that learning. But, I really feel like it's not a failure. We need to err on the side of safety. I used to do bus duty and it can be dicey. We need to have a controlled area for when we have a lot of volume. So as sad as it is and inconvenient, I'm just so thankful that we're going to move forward and have a plan to deal with this and keep our kids in class. So thank you for that work to the superintendent and everyone in transportation. It's been tough.
Thank you, Superintendent Massey. So I'm really happy to see so many people here to listen and hear this firsthand, and there's people online. But I think in reading a lot of what people have been responding, they might not possibly know how large a district and how many buses. Can you just tell us about how big this system is, how many driving miles we have, and how many children are on these buses? Round numbers, at least.
So you're pressing me here.
Sorry.
We're one of the largest geographic districts in the state, close to 220 square miles. We have 81 buses that canvass our district every single day. When you add up all the miles, we circle the globe more than once in a year. It's a lot of miles. And, one of the perceptions is that we're not very efficient. We have buses half full, or we have 20 kids on a bus when it holds 60. But when you ask those families, how long are your kids on that bus, it's close to an hour. We could fill a bus if we drive that bus for 3 hours. When you get to the remote areas of our district, it takes an hour to fill a bus with 20 kids. So it just doesn't work with our start times at the secondary and elementary to extend those routes. It's not healthy for kids to be on a bus that long to school and home every day. So it doesn't look efficient But it is a tight system. And by the way, we used to have 87 routes. We now have 81 because we've consolidated routes. We've efficiently combined routes to address the driver shortage. We continue to look at stones unturned that we might find other solutions, but our director of transportation, our supervisor of transportation is very skilled and has been doing this job for a very long time, and is open to new ideas and suggestions. At the same time, he has implemented a lot of creative solutions to get us where we're at.
Thank you. And I know one of our major issues at the state, so hopefully it might get us some more traction. I know that we don't get enough money from the state to actually run the buses that we run. And how do you know how much of a gap there really is in that?
Yeah, it's close to $500,000 general fund subsidy every year to cover the added cost to transport kids in a large district. The best analogy I can give you is Centennial and Forest Lake are similar enrollment size districts. If you will, Centennial is this big, Forest Lake is this big. We get the same dollars per kid to transport. We're driving this geography and Centennial is driving this geography. Clearly, it costs more to drive a larger district. And as a result, we have to supplement that added cost through the general fund.
Thank you.
Member Tyson?
One thing I wanted to add is, and I spoke with the superintendent about this, is that there's another impact to consider, that when we cancel a lot of routes, there's students that aren't able to make it, and there's no distance learning set up for them. So, you know, that's another impact when we're canceling out so many routes. So I'm just so anxious for us to get back on track and looking forward to that work.
Yes. Any other comments, questions? All right, hearing none, we will move on to agenda item number 3, approve the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion?
Second.
And a second. All those in favor of approving tonight's consent agenda signify by aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll move on to action items. For 1, Forest Lake Area School staff retirement notices. And before I entertain a motion for that, I do want to acknowledge Kathy Dow. She had 26 years of teaching at the elementary school, and she was included in licensed personnel in the consent agenda because of her early retirement. So she's not in the official retirement notice, but she did give us 26 years, and I wanted to make sure it was acknowledged. So with that, I would entertain a motion to approve 4-1.
Excuse me, Madam Chair.
Sorry.
I don't have the name, mine just dropped, but I want to recognize the special ed nurse that's
Sharon Hill.
retiring.
Sharon
Thank
Hill.
you, thank you, Superintendent. 8 years as a special ed nurse at the high school, so we wish her well in retirement and thank you for those 8 years.
We have a motion for 4-1.
So, second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Which is where Sharon Hill is listed in 4-1. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We will move on to 4-2. JP?
President Peterson, Dr. Massey, members of the board, JP Jacobson, Director of Teaching and Learning here. I've got a number of courses I'm excited to bring forward and seek board approval on. The first 5, action items 4.2 through 4.6 are new high school courses. These are courses that we learned a bit about during our board meeting in early December. Each of these courses fall within one of our high school career pathways. These are valuable experiences that we see giving students the ability to test out potential career options for them when in our system around engineering, carpentry, robotics, and healthcare systems. We reviewed these courses in detail, and administration would ask the board to approve courses 4.2 through 4.6.
All right, do we have any questions for Dr. Jacobson on 4.2 through 4.6?
I would recommend a roll call vote on each course.
Unfortunately, Member Clerk, we will do a roll call vote on 4.2 through 4.6. So do I have a motion for 4.2? Forest Lake Area High School new course proposal, 9th grade engineering.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, Member Clerk?
Member Kettle.
Aye.
Member Landstrom.
Aye.
Member Rayfield.
Aye.
Member Tyson.
Aye.
Member Peterson.
Aye.
Member Luther votes aye, and Member Corcoran is absent. All ayes.
All right, do we have a motion for 4-3, Forest Lake Area High School new course proposal, ninth grade carpentry?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second, discussion?
I would just add that I think this is a great course, the carpentry, but I also think we should think in the future about electrical wiring and plumbing as are trades that I think could also be represented in some of our courses. So, but yeah, I support this 100%.
Thank you, Member Rayfield. As a carpenter, I also support this 100%. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Member Clerk?
Member Landstrom.
Aye.
Member Rayfield.
Aye.
Member Tyson.
Aye.
Member Peterson.
Aye.
Member Luther votes aye. Member Corcoran is absent. Member Kettle.
Aye.
All ayes.
All right, moving to fourth, motion passes. We'll move on to 4-4, Forest Lake Area High School new course proposal, robotics and automation. We have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second, any discussion?
I would just say that on this one, I've done a lot of work in robotics and automation in a previous job. And again, this is, we could be teaching the theory of electronics, right? And I think it wouldn't be doing a service to our kids like this is, showing practically how to use these tools, how to bring things together, how to think at a higher level. That's what I'm just so excited about these classes, because they're not about deep in the woods theory. They're about building, making, thinking, creating, and that's just such an important skill.
And I would add the chemical engineering roles that I've worked with, just robotics and engineering in so many aspects of different industries, and it's grown in the 10 years I watched it. It's just exciting to see what's next. And so I can't imagine someone looking at the description not wanting to at least try it. So good job naming them on top of designing them.
And I just wanted to add that I think, having these courses that are kind of polytechnic, where they're hands-on for some students, as well as being, more of a book, I think that's very valuable.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Member Clerk?
Member Rayfield.
Aye.
Member Tyson.
Aye.
Member Peterson.
Aye.
Member Luther votes aye. Member Corcoran is absent. And Member Kettle.
Aye.
Member Landstrom.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll move to 4-5, Forest Lake Area High School new course proposal, exploring medical careers. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second, discussion?
One quick question. How deep is this? Is it like a survey course of all the medical careers?
Yes, this would be a survey course in nature, and giving students that take the course a sense of in a broader sense, what are the medical careers out there available to them? And maybe having some personalization to go into a course or a career in greater depth through some research, but it would be a survey course of sorts.
Excellent.
Any further discussion?
I think just to play off everybody else's comments, it's another career that just it's going to be a need forever. So, I mean, it's great that we're actually featuring careers that will be out there and available.
Thank you, Member Kettle. Any further discussion?
I just want to add that, we have such great nursing courses, especially at the high school. I know many students that have hit the ground running in their nursing career and have gotten into college programs. But I think this just broadens it and lets students really explore what other medical professions there are. So, great course, JP.
And I want to add that I like that it's very gender neutral. It doesn't say nurse. It doesn't say anything that's steering towards one traditional gender role or gender minority. So I'm glad that they'll have everything from a high school diploma requirement, nursing job, all the way to probably surgeons, and everybody will be in the same class with the same access to the information. So it won't predetermine who wants to take this course by any preconceived notions.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Member Clerk?
Member Tyson.
Aye.
Member Peterson.
Aye.
Member Luther votes aye. Member Corcoran is absent. Member Kettle.
Aye.
Member Landstrom.
Aye.
Member Rayfield.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 4.6, Forest Lake Area High School new course proposal, genetics and medicine. We have a motion.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Again, another course that's just, 21st century and just really out there in the college curriculums. And so we're just offering our students just the best opportunities to get into the career that they really desire when they graduate.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Member Clerk?
Member Peterson?
Aye.
Member Luther votes aye. Member Corcoran is absent. Member Kiddo?
Aye.
Member Landstrom?
Aye.
Member Rayfield?
Aye.
Member Tyson?
Aye.
Thank you. The next 9 courses, agenda items 4.7 through 4.15, are all related to the board's strategic plan around creating a middle level experience in grades 7th and 8th grade that prepares students for making informed choices when they enter the high school. These courses that you see here primarily are gateway courses in each of our career pathways, quarter-length courses, students getting a chance to sample coursework and career options when in the 7th and 8th grade. Again, by no means picking a career, but trying to broaden what their experiences and their horizons are. And then there's a couple courses here around meeting middle level art standards and meeting the needs of teaching kids experiences even beyond the careers. And so the administration has reviewed each of these courses and would recommend through roll call vote board approval.
Thank you, Director Jacobson. We'll move on to 4.7, Forest Lake Area Middle School new course proposal, exploring healthy living. We have a motion.
So moved.
Second?
A motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none. Member Clerk?
Member Luther votes aye. Member Kiddo?
Aye.
Member Landstrom?
Aye.
Member Rayfield?
Aye.
Member Tyson?
Aye.
Member Peterson?
Aye.
And Member Corcoran is absent.
Moving on, motion passes. We'll move to 4.8, Forest Lake Area Middle School new course proposal, 21st century literacy. We have a motion.
So moved.
Second?
A motion and a second. Discussion.
Quick question. So is this only, is this different than regular English curriculums where it was everybody from ancient Greeks all the way to now, and it's just 21st century?
Correct.
Okay.
And the 21st century literacy is more about the literacy skills that students would need on a go-forward basis, not so much the literature that students might read. So where we find and produce and consume information, that's really the foundation of this course.
And I think when Director of Teaching and Learning explained it during the first reading, that's really a valuable, important tool for a 9th grader. Yeah, excellent course.
Any further discussion on 4.8? Hearing none. Member Clerk?
Member Corcoran is absent. Member Kiddo?
Aye.
Member Landstrom?
Aye.
Member Rayfield?
Aye.
Member Tyson?
Aye.
Member Peterson?
Aye.
And Member Luther votes aye.
Motion passes. We'll move to 4.9, Forest Lake Area Middle School new course proposal, visual arts. We have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion.
So that was one passing without it. I love art courses. So. I'm just so glad that art is part of our curriculum. And equal with all things, because art is in every industry. You can't just say, oh, it's a hobby. It's in everything.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Member Clerk?
Member Kiddo?
Aye.
Member Landstrom?
Aye.
Member Rayfield?
Aye.
Member Tyson?
Aye.
Member Peterson?
Aye.
Member Luther votes aye, and Member Corcoran is absent.
Motion passes. We will move on to 4.10, Forest Lake Area Middle School new course proposal, Are You a Future CEO? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Coming from business, I just love this course. This is great. I mean, as both a person who worked in business, but also as an entrepreneur who did my own thing, I think it's great. Nice job.
And this is, sorry. I'll have my one negative comment. I just want to make sure that every kid does see themselves as a potential CEO, because there's a lot of kids who don't see that in themselves, and they may not choose to take that course. So I'm sure there will be special attention made to make sure people know that this is available regardless of what you've done before, anything else in your history.
Yeah, and for clarification, this is a course that all students would take. So it's not necessarily an elective.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
course it's a gateway course for all kids to take in the business management and administration
Oh, very
pathway.
good. Okay, well, that will go towards that's eliminating that self-bias. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Member Clerk?
Member Lindstrom.
Aye.
Member Rayfield.
Aye.
Member Tyson.
Aye.
Member Peterson.
Aye.
Member Luther votes aye. Member Corcoran is absent. Member Kiddo.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll move to 411, Forest Lake Area Middle School new course proposal, Adventures in Global Agriculture. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Discussion? Member Tyson?
I think this is, I'm excited about this course. I think it aligns with our, FAA and our greenhouse and all of our programs that are at the Forest Lake High School. I also feel like this is something that's near and dear to millennials and that age group, and it should be to all of us. So I'm excited for this course, and I think it's good, a great time to put it out there for students to take.
Thank you, Member Tyson. Further discussion?
I would just say the one thing, I mean, the Twin Cities and Minnesota in general is a hub of a lot of this industry, with General Mills and Land O'Lakes and I can't remember, there's just a lot of companies that do this kind of work around here, so I'm glad that we're looking at that, and because it could be a great career.
Any further discussion?
I'm glad we're going global as another way to pull in multicultural, and how we do it is not the only way. And there's a lot of agricultural techniques in other countries that they might find themselves running up against and say like, oh, I know something about that. So just broadening their horizons to what they didn't know they didn't know.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Member Clerk?
Member Rayfield.
Aye.
Member Tyson.
Aye.
Member Peterson.
Aye.
Member Luther votes aye. Member Corcoran is absent. Member Kettle.
Aye.
And Member Lynch.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving to 412, Forest Lake Area Middle School new course proposal, Be the Change. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, Member Clerk?
Member Tyson.
Aye.
Member Peterson.
Aye.
Member Luther votes aye. Member Corcoran is absent. Member Kettle.
Aye.
Member Landstrom.
Aye.
And Member Rayfield.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving to 413, Forest Lake Area Middle School new course proposal, Exploring Industrial Technology. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, Member Clerk?
Member Peterson.
Aye.
Member Luther votes aye. Member Corcoran is absent. Member Kettle.
Aye.
Member Landstrom.
Aye.
Member Rayfield.
Aye.
Member Tyson.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving to 414, Forest Lake Area Middle School new course proposal, Healthy You and Beyond. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Discussion?
Can't let them pass. And the other ones are great too. But I appreciate that this is schools taking the role to make sure that kids know a lot more about the world around them and what they're getting into, so they can have knowledge of healthy habits. And people always say kids should learn these things in school, and I'm always happy to say like, well, they do in our schools. So this is like the adulting, as they say. So it's a nice low stakes. They're middle schoolers. They don't have to get it all in one day, but knowing it in is this 8th grade or 7th grade?
This would be an 8th grade course.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're ready to take it on, and they can move into high school and hopefully make fewer mistakes.
Any further discussion? Member Clerk?
Member Luther votes aye. Member Corcoran is absent. Member Kettle.
Aye.
Member Landstrom.
Aye.
Member Rayfield.
Aye.
Member Tyson.
Aye.
And Member Peterson.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll move to 415, Forest Lake Area Middle School new course proposal, Media Arts 1. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Discussion?
Still like art courses. I still love art courses. Sorry.
Thank you, Member Luther. Member
For them all.
Luther. Seeing no more further discussion.
do. I know, we all do.
Member Clerk, could you please take a roll call?
Member Corcoran is absent. Member Kettle.
Aye.
Member Landstrom.
Aye.
Member Rayfield.
Aye.
Member Tyson.
Aye.
Member Peterson.
Aye.
And Member Luther votes aye.
Thank you, Member Clerk. Motion passes. And before we move to 416, I would just like to say that I really appreciate the broad diversity of courses that we're offering both at the high school and the middle school. And I think it's often lost on folks, just the broad nature with which we still offer across the board. So,
Can I make a comment?
go ahead.
I just want to thank you for the work that you did. And I want to add to what Jeff said. I like how it ties into our strategic plan so well. As I read through many of these descriptions, it always tied back to the strategic plan. So thank you for that.
Very
JP,
good.
will these be available next year?
We're doing a two-year roll-in to these
Okay.
courses. So the seventh grade courses will be available to seventh graders next year. And then when that cohort moves to eighth grade, they will be the first to go through and experience the eighth grade courses, the ones that you approved tonight. And we hope to bring more courses to you here over the course of the spring. These were the first level gateway experiences that we talked about. In eighth grade, there'll be electives options for students to explore deeper, maybe a newfound passion that they didn't know that they had. Once we get board approval on the general concept of these courses, then we're gonna have teacher designers build up those courses as well.
Member Tyson?
And JP, could you, I know this has been asked before, but could you reiterate, how is the rollout to the parents with the new courses?
Yeah, so parents are part of the process during strategic planning. That's what this was born out of. Parents now will start to go through the registration process as sixth grade parents going into seventh grade. Haley Lang and her team over at the middle school are doing a phenomenal job of putting together materials for registration, an information night that will come up, and sharing with parents over the course of a couple nights, actually, these new courses that students can take and the reasons behind that. And then middle school counselors will also meet with sixth grade classrooms to help build excitement in our sixth graders, not only in these courses, but the transition to middle school.
Very good, thank you.
One last question. Is there going to be any parent meeting, just community-based, that maybe they don't have a sixth grader, or maybe they've chosen to homeschool to that point and are looking at middle school options?
You know, that is a great question. The parent meetings that we hold at the middle school in the evening in January around registration are available to parents of students who don't currently attend our schools. And we've had parents from other schools come to those meetings to learn more, and that would be available to them. That would be the meeting that we would encourage them to come to.
And we do send postcards to every sixth grader in the district, whether they go to our elementary schools or not,
Okay.
informing them.
Thank you so much, Director Jacobson, and a big thank you to your team and all the work and effort that goes into finding these new courses and you know, putting them all together and getting them ready for implementation. With that, we'll move on to 416, approve the 2020-2022 bus mechanics employee agreement. Dr. Massey?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You previously approved this contract, but there was a commitment to reopen should the resources be made available. And with the state budget that was approved last May, there were resources that came to the district warranting the reopening of classified contracts. So you'll see in the second year of this contract, the wage increase of 2% across the board for the second year of this contract. With that, administration recommends approval.
We have a motion for 416.
Move to approve 416.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion?
This is like perfect timing, at least. I wish we could do everything in the world, but I'm glad that we are not only following up on the note that was in the contract, because I remember it being in the contract that it would reopen, and every single one has had their turn, but just the value in the transportation employees too.
I would just like to reiterate myself, our commitment to our employment groups and keeping our word when we sometimes run into obstacles like we did last year. And I appreciate them working with us in bargaining and accepting the zero with the idea that we could do an opener should the state give us money. And I hope that it displays to them that we are committed to doing what we can when we can do it.
Well said. Member Chair, could I ask the superintendent, how many are in the mechanics group?
Boy, I believe it's 6. I might be corrected by some of our bus drivers in the audience. I believe it's 6.
Wow, very good.
Any further discussion on 416? Hearing none, Member Clerk?
Where was I? Member Ketto.
Aye.
Member Landstrom.
Aye.
Member Rayfield.
Aye.
Member Tyson.
Aye.
Member Peterson.
Aye.
Member Luther votes aye. Member Corcoran is absent.
Motion passes. We'll move to 417, district reserve pay provisions from January 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2022. Dr. Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You'll recall last year that we did have a similar provision for staff that needed to take time off for COVID-related illness, whether it's quarantine or direct illness. And that was a federal requirement. That federal requirement is no longer in place, but we feel there's a need to have this provision to address a staff member who might accrue or enter an unpaid leave of absence due to a COVID-related illness or other illness after exhausting other sick leave due to COVID illness. This would include minor child as well. So it's up to 3 days of paid time should they enter an unpaid status with an illness, having had a COVID-related illness. It would expire on June 30th of this year, and to be eligible, it would require full vaccination. With that, administration recommends approval.
We have a motion for 417.
So, second.
A motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none. Member Tyson?
Well, I just wanted to add, not many districts are doing something like this. So I think, given the 20 months in the pandemic, this is really a welcome thing for our employees that need that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Member Clerk?
Member Landstrom. Aye. Member Rayfield.
Aye.
Member Tyson.
Aye.
Member Peterson.
Aye.
Member Luther votes aye. Member Corcoran is absent. Member Kettle.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to new business. 5-1, Forest Lake Area High School, new course proposal, Principles of Management, Director Jacobson.
Yeah, so several new courses. These 4 new courses are different in nature than the ones I just talked about. These are courses that we have in concurrent enrollment with Pine Tech. These are Pine Tech courses that we have educators in our system teach them to students. We feel like these additional courses round out some of our career pathways that currently exist. I'll share with you the courses here tonight. We're not looking for board approval tonight, just a first reading. The plan would be to bring these back to the first meeting in January to seek approval. The first course, 5-1, is around Principles in Management. This is a course really designed around a comprehensive study of managerial functions, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling a company and organization for meeting organizational goals. The goal is to students to grow in areas of motivation, leadership, organizational structure, decision-making, and global competition. And this is a Pine Tech course, like I mentioned earlier, and part of our business management and administration pathway at the high school.
Thank you, Director Jacobson. Being a first reading, no action necessary. We'll move to 5-2, Forest Lake Area High School, new course proposal, medical dosage.
Thank you, Chair Peterson. This is a course that would live within our health sciences pathway. It's a course focused on introducing students to medical dosages, how that works within a healthcare related field, the terminology associated with medical orders, and students learning the theory behind and on how to calculate medical dosages. This is again a course in concurrent enrollment with Pine Tech.
Thank you. We'll move on to 5-3, Forest Lake Area High School, new course proposal, medical terminology.
Thank you, Chair Peterson. This is a course also in our health sciences career pathway, focusing on helping students get their brains wrapped around the word definitions, correct pronunciations, different terms used in medical terminology in the healthcare setting. Students being introduced to these terms and how they relate to all body systems, common abbreviations, and these sorts of things. It's really a course related to preparing students for future coursework in healthcare.
Thank you, Director Jacobson. We'll move to 5-4, Forest Lake Area High School, new course proposal, pharmacology.
Thank you, Chair Peterson. This is a course called pharmacology, of course. Again, within our health sciences career pathway, to provide students with an introduction to basic pharmacology, presented with major drug classifications and how those relate to the body systems. The last 3 courses are all in healthcare-related fields. As previously mentioned, when we looked at the future of job statistics out of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, this is one of the fastest growing areas in the next 8 to 15 years. And certainly as a system, we want to do a nice job of helping our students look for opportunities and feel prepared for entering the career force there. So as mentioned, we would bring these back first board meeting in January.
Thank you, Director Jacobson. All right, with that, seeing nothing further on tonight's agenda, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
Second?
A motion and a second. All those in favor of adjournment signify by aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, meeting's adjourned.